Okay, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, a huge welcome back as we are here with part 70 of Chris Chan, A Comprehensive History. Okay, so first of all, I do apologize that last week, the 69th episode, unfortunately, the title didn't really have a joke. I don't know, this episode is a bit long, 69, you can draw your own conclusions yourself. So, also, last week was the single longest episode of the comprehensive history we've ever had to talk about. And, oh god, it was just, I'm sorry, but that entire experience was painful because I don't understand why Chris does not seem to understand Chris's actions, the way they impact people, and the way that Chris just kind of like brazenly ignores them because Chris almost thinks it's convenient to do so to justify that Chris is the only one who can do right. I think they said this again previously when they talked about the fact that, well, Chris is mistakenly under the impression, and I say mistaken, well, not really mistakenly, we all know that Chris is wrong about the fact that you're not a CPU goddess, Chris, and you're certainly not going to be making it to C-197. Goodness knows where you will be going by the time this is all said and done. But, now listen, all of that's bad enough, but why on earth is it, like, so hard for Chris to... I don't understand. Is it because Chris can't understand why, like, legitimately? Or is it because of something a little bit more sinister again? Yeah, that's probably not a good idea. Yeah, so I wish there was anything more I could add, but yeah, well, that's just about that. So with all that being said and done, we now move into part 70, and I did say at the end of part 69 that I feel like we are now at the point where we're sort of a little bit on the homeward bound, if you will. I honestly feel like hang on. Right, sorry about that, guys. So, yeah, I honestly say I think this is the point where I'd say we are, like, legitimately on the homeward stretch. But at this point, well, things are probably going to get crazier and, well, because then again, there's the whole lark about SNT, but that's not for a while, like another 4 parts or something like that. So, here we go. Part 70. Let's go. That's enough stalling for one day.
What made her this way? What is the attraction? What keeps us fascinated? This is the story of Chris Chan. On March 8th, 2019, Brian Frogboy, author of the approved Chris Chan prequel comic, released a YouTube video in which she largely defends Christine and decries the people who obsess over her.
We need to stop talking about Chris like she's some wild fucking animal or a fugitive on the run. Chris can be both a person that disgusts you and a human being. Now there's a new form of entertainment through the likes of just reading quickie articles out loud or talking
Hey, that's kind of like what I do.
Over videos that Chris makes. In fact, I'm actually looking at high schoolers right now making a living off it.
In it, he expresses that Chris is autistic and largely is not responsible for her occasional crass comments and foolish actions, and also complains about the relentless followship which continually observes, comments on, and infrequently intrudes in her life and those of her friends and acquaintances, such as himself.
And Chris isn't gonna get back into this pool of society in my mind if we're all gonna just document her like she's a wild animal. That would actually be a funny video, is someone doing a nature doc about Chris, but you're just making fun of the dude who's doing the doc, and then by the end you see him in his underwear at his computer. I'd watch that.
He also mentioned that former guard dog, Kiwi Farms member, the Captain, introduced himself to Brian and helped him and Christine make amends after a brief falling out.
You're not a hero for just being an asshole for the sake of being an asshole. It's not a good thing in my mind. And just to reiterate, if you're gonna mock somebody, at least have the class to do it in a comic.
Shortly after the video was shared on the forums, it was deleted. Also on this day, it appeared that Brian's Twitter account was hacked, as he confessed that Christian-focused YouTuber Gibby was in fact the Captain, and was the person that had sent the Nintendo Switch console to Chris as a present. The hacker, as Brian, then confided that he ate out of Christine's taint and sucked her penis, before having his home address posted on the social media site.
Jesus.
On March 9th, Chris wrote that while playing the mobile game Pokemon Go, which made use of players' real-world locations, she determined that her house, which she also claimed was Sonichu headquarters, was a compass, based on the fact that she was facing south as she looked at one corner of the house, meaning all other corners would point at the other three respective directions. The next day, Chris made a
What a revelation, huh?
so-called deity-level wish and request to make the location of her house a Pokestop in Pokemon Go, a geographical location where players could claim Pokemon and other special items. On March 11th, Christine claimed on Twitter that her alleged husband, Magi-chan, had informed her that their alleged husband, the Pokemon Mewtwo, had come down with a bad head virus, and so she wished for her followers for prayers in his recovery. When confronted by a Twitter user who told her that Mewtwo was not real and that the dimensional merge would not take place, Chris wrote back, warning them that they would be blocked if they were to write once more denouncing her beliefs as hallucination, delusion, and illusion.
I mean, are they right or are they wrong? Because, well, unfortunately, Chris, you've just about become everything you absolutely hated. Naive, hallucinate, a crazy person.
Later that day, she boasted about her achievements in the mobile game Tetris after playing it over the weekend. On March 12th, Christine unveiled her new custom-painted yellow/blue Adidas brand shoes, and so put up her old, identical shoes with autographed insoles for sale on the eBay auction site for $200. When an individual complained about the expensiveness of the item, Chris stated that they were celebrity shoes, comparable to ones that may have been worn by noted basketball player Michael Jordan. Within a day, the shoes were...
But you're not Michael Jordan though, Chris. You're not. I know you think you're about on the same level, but no. Meanwhile...
bought by her avid follower, Jacob Sockness, who thought that they were the sacred shoes of Christine the Goddess, filled with her energy, which he was looking forward to wearing for the My Little Pony convention, BabsCon. Later on, YouTuber and artist Fallen Shadow shared her artistic rendering of Chris-chan reimagined as a so-called Amin waifu. Chris then declared that someone should print the picture onto a dakimakura, or large body pillow. Also on that day, she complained about the plot of the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog movie, concerning the main character Sonic being a being from space. At around that time, Christine was filmed by a clerk working at the game retailer GameStop while she looked for a Pokemon accessory that could be used with the game Pokemon Go. The clerk later revealed that Chris was permitted to enter the establishment and that the employees were instructed to deal with her in a neutral manner.
Hey dude.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing okay. I am in the market for a brand new Pokeball Plus.
A brand new Pokeball Plus. Let me see if we have any. Yes, we do.
And I need a pre-owned, non-closing 2DS.
Pre-owned, non-closing 2DS. Let's see if we have any of those. I'm not sure we do.
Whim. Whim, whim. This Pokeball Plus contains whim.
Yeah, looks like the only DSs we have.
I love the fact that, you know what, literally you watch this and I know it's obvious, ladies and gentlemen, when you like view this with the benefit of hindsight, but it's kind of bizarre, I suppose is the way to put it, that the idea is that you don't they are perfectly aware of who Chris is, that infamous in and around in the state of Virginia, or specifically in Charlottesville, but don't play into it. You just deal with him by, deal with Chris by saying, you know what, just get on with it and don't engage in Chris's delusions. And bear in mind, I'm sure even they are fully on the level in understanding that why is Chris just going out to just buy like a games console or anything like that when Chris is constantly on the run from debt collectors and unpaid debt and stuff like that. This is not a good idea.
Okay. Well, I was hoping to save some money, but that's okay. I'll just take the Pokeball Plus for now.
Cool. 52,
But something is going to happen. I'm going to paint it into a special custom Pokeball I designed called an S-Chew Ball.
An S-Chew Ball?
Yeah, hang on a second. Designed after the classic and most popular Sonic OC ever, Sonichu.
Yeah.
I love the fact that even now, I thought Sonic would have been the most popular Sonic OC, but apparently Chris is even on the level to think that Sonichu is more popular. But I can't see them ever making a Sonichu movie anytime soon. What do you guys think?
Especially used for capturing electric types.
Okie dokie.
So yeah, check me out on the internet. I've been famous for a long time.
Alright, well, that's cool.
Because guess who created that OC?
Oh,
You know?
okay.
Let's turn it to a seat. Did you want a bag for this?
Yeah.
Okie doke. There you go.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
On March 14th, Christine pleaded for people to nominate her house as a Pokestop in the game Pokemon Go, so that users could receive perks and bonuses at her residence. She also revealed that she had registered her home address as a business on Google, naming it Sonichu Headquarters, and set the business official website as The Quickie, though only temporarily until she found a more appropriate site. This resulted in many people posting fake reviews on the so-called business, usually featuring references to Chris's past. The business listing was then periodically taken down and then put back up again. On the 15th, Chris went back to Twitter to announce that her apparent husband, Mewtwo, was recovering from his illness. On March 16th, she complained once more about the Sonic movie, this time voicing her distaste for the redesign of the character, which was shared by the vast majority of the knowing public, and shared a fan redesign of Sonic in a more traditional form. Also on that day, Jacob Sockness received his purchase of Christine's old shoes, complete with certificate of authenticity. He claimed that the shoes contained cat and dog DNA, and he searched them for one of Christine's hairs so he could implant it into an amulet of serious power to manifest one's dreams. He then made a YouTube video opening the box and assessing its contents.
Here it goes. First seal. Seal is cracked. Let's see if it smells anything. No. It smells like bubble gum, actually. Here it goes. That is so weird. I don't know why they smell like bubble gum. There's no foot odor at all on these things. They've seen a little bit of repair. There's duct tape inside of these. But this side has... Ooh, there's hair in there. Ooh, she did leave some hair sample, so send that to the cloning lab. So this is what she's been walking in for a year. Not bad. It'll be in front of the merge. It's all her characters and you can see the shoes on her feet in one of these videos. Let me get this off of here. I actually have a photo that has her shoes on. And she's wearing them. And you can see the shoes are...
I don't, you know, if you think I've got anything to say about this, guys, unfortunately I don't, because, well, what exactly am I supposed to say about this? I'm watching a grown-ass man play make-believe and dress up with Christian Weston Chandler. I don't really think there was anything more to say apart from that, apart from, well, goodness knows what Sockness does nowadays. I dare to think.
Right there. And now they're right here. In my house, in my temple. The sacred temple.
On March 17th, after one of her followers tweeted at her about Sonichu's birthday, Chris tweeted that she almost forgot that the date marked 19 years since she created Sonichu, posting a photo of her recently painted Pokeball Plus and 3 works of fan art depicting Sonichu and Rosechu. When asked if she would credit the original artists, she replied that she would love to, but the tweet was done on impulse, and she had difficulties in remembering names.
Not a good answer, Chris. That's a bullshit answer.
The next day, after being prompted by a comment from a follower, Christine claimed to have been inspired to elaborate further on the gender differences of different types of Sonichus. In addition to her tweet thread describing their biological features, she drew diagrams, first depicting a male Sonichu and a female Rosechu, and then depicting a rare female Sonichu and male Rosechu. When a commenter noted that Sonic the Hedgehog did not canonically possess toes, in contrast to her be-toed Sonichu depictions, Chris clarified that the Sonic creators got that detail wrong and that Sonic did in fact have ties. On March 20th, during a string of random Access Humor tweets, Chris posted an audio file of what she dubbed a melodic burp.
Again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Gino, I applaud you for being comprehensive, and you weren't lying, but you don't need... This is a bit too comprehensive, if you know what I mean.
On March 22nd, Christine met up with YouTuber Kopitz, with whom she had met and filmed a video before, along with a couple of his friends. Together, they filmed a video in which they went to search for ghosts within the abandoned mental hospital DeJarnette Sanitarium in Staunton, Virginia, which was founded by Joseph DeJarnette, a staunch advocate of forced sterilization of the mentally ill and others he deemed defective.
What's up, guys? We're here at the DeJarnette Sanatorium. I'm here with Christine Weston Chandler.
Yo. Yo.
AKA Chris Chan, and we're going to be exploring this place, searching for ghosts. And it's going to be... You think you can squeeze through here, Christine?
I think I can manage.
All right. Nice job. So there's a bunch of different levels to this building.
Why is she dead, people? I think the ghosts are coming after me.
You know, can I just say this for the record, is that Chris has made it a point to, like, boast about, you know, being a fun guy to be around, but literally every single thing that comes out of Chris's mouth is literally random access humor, which is good if you know, if you're into that thing, but I think even hanging around Chris for as much as maybe, like, an hour or two, it will start to get very, very old. Just saying.
I got a lightning quartz on my wrist. It might take more than one try, but I'm able to do it on the first try oftentimes, but I'm going to make it right in here.
What the fuck are you doing?
Alright, sometimes it makes more. There it is.
Oh, nice, nice. It's where Joseph DeJarnette did his work. He's known for being a pretty famous eugenics doctor, and he's known to still roam the halls as a ghost, obviously.
What was his
Closed
name?
down way long ago. His name was Joseph DeJarnette.
Joseph. Hello, Joe. What do you know?
You believe in ghosts?
I've met ghosts, so yes.
Lots of people.
Hello?
Hello?
We're friendly.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. I think we're just...
Don't worry, guys. If
still hear
anything,
him.
Magic Chance Sonichu has us protected.
Oh,
Don't worry, we mean you no harm, spirits. As long as we don't bother them, they won't bother us.
Oh,
That's my mother. Heyo. Bye-bye. No, it's okay.
Definitely
That
before
was
6.
just my mother calling me. Y'all's mothers were concerned about yours as well. Y'all, when you were... I mean, no offense. Thank you. Had some fun hunting around the spooky trails.
You know what? I'm going to assume that the only reason they kept this segment that short is because, well, I'm not entirely sure what else you're meant to gather apart from Chris. Honestly, if anything, this video has gone to prove about not just the deterioration of Chris's mental health. I think that's been proven since at least part 3. But I think this also goes to prove the deterioration of just Chris being able to form, like, speech and even be able to, like, it's almost reverting back to probably when Chris was 3 years old, but oh well.
Humping around the spooky trails.
I wonder who those people were.
Yeah, I don't know. We might have scared them off because they didn't say anything to us.
Yeah, I thought we were ghosts.
That's
Each
the
other.
difference between knowing and not knowing. Hi, Mom. Checking in. I don't know if you want to wait till after I got home to fix dinner or whatever. We'll see you later. Love you.
When do you think the dimensional merge is happening?
It's very soon. Within the coming days.
If you wanted to access the, what's it called,
C197.
C197, if you wanted to access that right now, could you do it?
Oh, yeah.
Would you like to try it? I don't know if anybody's ever seen you do it before. If you...
Okay, well, hang on.
Don't fart, Chris.
Can you still hear us?
Yes, I hear you.
Are you in C197?
Yep.
Do you think I could have a conversation with one of them through you? Like you can tell me what they're saying and you can tell them what I'm saying?
Well, Sabrina is telling me. Say hi to...
Hi, Sabrina. Tell Sabrina I said hi.
Oh, she hears you through me, so it's like a conduit.
Oh, okay. Could I speak to maybe like Lisa Simpson or somebody?
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to move my soul all the way over to Springfield. Well, I'm talking with Homer right now. She's not home right now.
Can I speak to Marge?
Oh, she's coming in. Hi, Marge. She doesn't want her speech put on the internet.
Oh, okay.
But she will say, for everyone to remain on their best behavior and to be kind to each other. She will not stand for crass and rudeness.
Oh, of course. Yes. Wise words, Marge.
You know what? Not that it's entirely relevant, but remind me who voices Marge? Is it Pamela Hayden who voices Marge Simpson? I'm only asking this because even as the recording of this video is going out, is she doing okay? Because I know it's been quite a common occurrence that the deterioration of her voice means that Marge sounds, well, to be honest, quite rough. But yeah, that's literally the only thing I can think to say now when I think of The Simpsons nowadays, outside of anything watching Slim Jim's retrospective series.
I'm tired. I gotta come back here. Well, I have to come back. I got my brain got worn out.
On March 23rd, Kopitz uploaded the video on YouTube and Chris shared it on Twitter. In addition, she shared a drawing she had made earlier in March commemorating those with impairments like autism. I felt inspired to draw this after hearing and reading the history of #Dejarnet and his sanitarium. Joseph's ideals and methods offended me. Everyone has the right to reproduce. No one should be forced to not, regardless of mental status and health. And I remembered that, including myself, we all each have a soul, and how we each are able to communicate in this world. And the worse the mental handicap, the more difficult a blockage that individual has to get their thoughts out. Every soul is intelligent with their life's worth of wisdom and education. And with that, I am more than proud to tell you all, everyone has a soul of hope. Guest stars in this piece, Mitch Sonachu, formerly Asperchu, and @Lucky the Gator. The youngsters were inspired from a Google image search for the faces, as detailed as possible. They have been drawn and colored variably and different from the various source photos. Thank you. On March 30th, Chris returned to the sanitarium by herself and filmed a video for YouTube.
Hello, everybody. This is Christine Chandler coming to you live from within the first floor area of the Desjardins Sanitarium, where I come here of my own volition and goodwill on a mission of peace and goodwill. I'm here because recently I've made a drawing inspired by what happened here in Desjardins and the innocent children and adults who were robbed of their rights, and they suffered from the mental scars and all that. Anyway, I am leaving for them this photocopy of the lovely drawing, and I wrote a lovely message on the back so that hopefully those who find it in the future, and I do pray that these halls, this building, will one day become renovated, restored. This will become a good, positive mental health facility, or otherwise a general or children's hospital. That is my hope and wish for this.
You know what? Okay. All things being fair, I may complain a lot about the things Chris does, but you can see like the legitimacy about what Chris is trying to do here. So if there is one thing, I'm sure fine well that this was all meant in good spirit. But I'm also kind of wondering that, is it right to give Chris any sort of leeway whatsoever, even if I am utterly convinced that this was meant to be just completely, on the level. But at the same time, what became of the Desjardins Sanitarium? Because I can't imagine it still being abandoned to this day, or, that entire photocopy was left on its own and nobody decided to break it and take it.
This sanitarium, and also for peace and goodwill and the freedom for all the lost and trapped souls in here to feel free to leave and move on. I leave this in humble goodwill for all of you. Please enjoy. Not only good karma points for me, but just leaving an awesome memento. Thank you all, and y'all have a good and lovely day.
About 4 hours after Chris uploaded the video, QB Farms user Vicodin traveled to the Desjardins Sanitarium and retrieved the picture. He later posted the backside of the image with a handwritten message in a YouTube video, which mostly reiterated her wishes for the souls to find their way out of the sanitarium and hopes for the building to be re-established as a kind mental hospital. Possibly a short time after, as recounted by his girlfriend at the time, Vicodin invited Christine for lunch and agreed to pay for her. When he and his then-girlfriend picked Chris up, the Chandler's beagles bellowed loudly. While in the car, Chris continuously loudly sang along with the songs playing on the radio and announced that the dimensional merge would take place soon and that she could speak with the dead. When they arrived at the restaurant, Chris took out a customized duct tape phone case that held 2 phones, which could enable her to play the game Pokemon Go on 2 devices simultaneously. She spoke very loudly about all topics, and at one point convinced Vicodin's girlfriend to put on her sonotry medallion, asking if she could quote-unquote feel the power. On the final day of March, Chris revealed that the combined dimension of 1218 and C197 would be called 1C-211987. On April 2nd, one of her supporters on Patreon, who had been her patron for 3 months, notified on her page that they had yet to receive any copies of her Sonitru comics that they were supposed to get in return for their patronage. They wrote they would withdraw their backing if Chris did not respond. On that same day, Chris was sued for unpaid debt by Portfolio Recovery.
You see, what a surprise, and this is what I was alluding to earlier, and this is what it comes back to. Chris singing along Doolally as though it doesn't matter that Chris has obligations or not, and yet it's We're under the impression that Chris is worthy of receiving $300 a month in backers on Patreon, and Chris is constantly having issues with unpaid debts. Because sooner or later, let's assume Chris didn't get arrested in 2021. Where did Chris possibly foresee this going? Because you can't just roll over and play dead and expect the whole world to pick up the slack. It's not their responsibility. It's on you, Chris, to have sorted all this out. And I don't even understand how it's even possible for Chris to lie in this much debt. Oh wait, I know why. Because Chris fucking wastes his money on Lego and enough phone cases to play Pokemon Go on 78 different devices as far as I'm concerned.
Associates, and her next court hearing was set on May 15th. On April 3rd, Christine uploaded a curious YouTube video in which she films a masked man reading from a script. The player's identity was never determined.
Hello everyone, far and near. I have something you want to hear, so please use your ears before I disappear. Let's make something clear before we start. I have a good Purple Heart that won't fall apart. We are all about to take part in a new event segment, which will indent what you call a cement. My intent is to present the news, which will eliminate the torment of discontent.
Just keep reading.
I am that supplement to a lesser extent. Christine has been hell-bent on being a parent, so she made a pleasant investment and got my mother pregnant. I am a fluorescent adolescent, a direct descendant, and not the only attendant. There is one other, Crystal, and I am her brother. There is much you don't know unless I show, but that is a no-go. Right now I am here solo, but soon I will have my shadow, a lovely combo. There will be no tiptoe around the tempo. I must let go of my manifesto and go back to the golden, below Babylonian weeping willow, below the Jim Crow plateau. I hope I have walked this difficult tightrope well, under your light microscope. Nonetheless, God bless. Thanks for working with me in this process. More or less, it's still a work in progress. I hope to bring happiness for all parties. And please don't sniff those gnarly Sharpies.
Whatever.
On April 4th,
Meanwhile,
Chris unveiled her 6 new Pokeball accessories that could be used with Pokemon Go.
Chris, was that... No, sorry, Gina, was that just an excuse to get a close-up on Chris's crotch? I hope it wasn't, but come on now. That's a bit too comprehensive again.
Which she painted to appear like S-True balls. She defended her purchases, stating that apart from one she bought new, the others were second-hand, and purchased at a discount of up to $15. Some Kiwi Farms users calculated that her Pokeballs cost a minimum total of $225. During this time, Christine played Pokemon Go constantly, updating her Twitter with frequent updates about her playing habits and achievements, allegedly walking significant amounts to catch Pokemon around her locale. On April 5th, she shared a short trailer for a documentary film titled Chris Chan vs. the Internet, which featured new footage in the form of in-person interviews from Chris and her mother, Barbara.
At first, he couldn't talk. So he was trained with a speech therapist. His behavior was not normal. I wasn't aware of all that was going on at first.
The film was created by a film studies graduate who at first learned about Chris from the Chris Chan, A Comprehensive History YouTube series by Gino Samuel, and had taken time off work to spend about a week with Christine, filming her throughout the day. The trailer also notably hinted that the documentary film would feature Chris's former friend, Megan Schroeder.
Now he seems like a totally different person to me.
The filmmaker did not have much knowledge about Christine's followers and trolls, and did not use social media. so he asked his friend to set up a fundraising campaign for it on the site Kickstarter, with a goal of $20,000 and the hopes of having it shown in film festivals. When the Kickstarter was shared on Kiwi Farms, the project was near unanimously condemned for the brevity and vagueness of the fundraiser's description, high goal, and poor tier choices, and was quickly labeled as a scam, reasoning that there were other documentaries available for free on YouTube. The friend, who was user CMCW on Kiwi Farms, elaborated that the description and funding tiers were copied from other Kickstarter pages, and that funds would be used to pay for interviews with YouTubers who had made Chris Chan documentaries, such as Gino Samuel and Sachimo, and to retroactively pay for travel expenses during filming. CMCW went on to try address many questions from forum users.
It's a shame it's not to fund an Idiot Abroad style format where they film Chris going to several events. But then again, I suppose they're only doing that because they know they're going to get something out of it. Yeah. It's not that although I must say this whole versus the internet thing, I do admit it probably has many faults. Presumably because, well, $20,000 seems really excessive in my opinion.
Though could not answer adequately, which resulted in more ridiculing. After reviewing negative feedback on the farms and poor communication with interested parties on the social media site Reddit, the Kickstarter was cancelled after 1 day, and upon witnessing the backlash, Megan asked to be removed from the final film. The documentary was later completely abandoned by the filmmaker, who went on to endure online bullying and trolling, and was under so much stress and paranoia that he eventually felt compelled to physically destroy the hard drive containing the footage with a hammer. On April 5th, Christie notified her followers that she managed to have her amethyst high school ring successfully repaired by Herf Jones, the makers of the ring, after cracking it by striking it with another stone in an attempt to make it spark. The next day, she drove 150 miles to visit a trusted online friend and fan, along with her husband. The friend later wrote that she got to wear Chris's Sonichu medallion. The three spent the weekend together, and Chris and her friend exchanged artwork. Chris drew for her Sonichu hanging a spoon off his nose, and her friend offered Chris her drawing of Chris Chan Sonichu and Magic-chan embracing. On the way back, Christine lost her wallet, and she had her friend and husband prepare for her a temporary driver's license. On April 13th, Chris watched the video that major YouTuber PewDiePie made about her some years prior. She felt that he accentuated her negatives and was triggered by being reminded of the trolling sagas, and was called not amongst the greatest of people. She felt offended, but did not think he deserved to lose his channel over the video. On April 15th, Christine notified her Twitter followers that her missing wallet had been found safely, so she drove to retrieve it, claiming to have been accompanied by her husband, Magic-chan, and Inuyasha, the Pokemon Blaziken, which she had caught in the game Pokemon Go, which she believed was the same Pokemon that she had possessed in the game Pokemon Ruby in the early 2000s, that she named after the protagonist of a Japanese manga series of the same name. She soon after posted a photo taken in-game which showed the Blaziken seemingly defending Ruckersville, Virginia, in front of the sign denoting its entry. Also on that day, a user of the site Reddit posted a photo of Chris walking through the department store Target, who was claimed to have been muttering loudly to herself. The next day, she elaborated on what she was doing there and commented her opinions on the recent burning of part of the French cathedral, Notre Dame. Taking a break at the nearby at Target, having some pasta, and at Mountain Dew in its cafe, and luring Pokemon at its Pokestop with Magic-chan, Grizel, and my Blaziken, Inuyasha, at the table. I saw and read the first notification from the @NBC News app on my phone, stating that Notre Dame was set ablaze. My initial thoughts were, oh, the humanity. Grizel and Inuyasha were both shocked with me, and Magic-chan, a bit career-fallen at the event, had foreseen its happening long before.
Did he fuck do it?
He assured me that many people would be safe and that the cathedral would be quickly restored. I even saw a retweet of the footage of its spire falling and the smoke puffing out from the blaze. I saw a legendary bird Pokemon flying there, and its head shape forming in the smoke shown in that video clip. Accident or not, this blaze was fated to happen to the cathedral. If y'all can take anything from my tweets here, is the assurance from Magichan Sonichu and I that Notre Dame would be quickly restored, and it will be a fateful and magical sight to behold, especially in how quickly it happens. And my thoughts and prayers go out to everyone who was affected by the tragedy. Be safe and well, and have a good day. On April 20th, it appeared that Google finally acknowledged Chris's application to make her home the official Sonichu headquarters, labeled as a business. She also asked for advanced players of Pokemon Go to vote for her residence to become a Pokestop in-game, for they had the ability to do so. She claimed she would rearrange the front garden and add seating amenities if her house became a Pokestop or a Pokemon gym. To make an official announcement, she made a YouTube video outside her home.
Hello everybody, this is Christine Weston Chandler Sonichu, coming in late to you live from my faithful and loving home in Ruckersville, Virginia, which has now been correctively and recognized officially by Google. This is officially.
You can see the short bus waiting behind. I can assume that's not a tour bus.
Sonichu headquarters. This is not only my home for me as the creator and author of the books and artworks and other featurettes featuring Sonichu and Roschu, the electric hedgehog Pokemon, and their evolution families and all the other special Sonichu and Rosechus aside from that. But also, this is a loving, fairly well kept home. At least my father, the late Mr. Robert Franklin Chandler Jr., had kept it up well. We had a daylily garden, but yeah, it's a mess. I mean, I'm not going to show the mess, but obviously what was daylilies is now a bunch of forest during the summertime that I would not advise going through whatsoever.
Because we know fine well Chris is not going to actually tend to it herself. We know Chris probably is not a gardener or anything like that, but, well, the best thing to do is just to completely turf up the garden and just, I don't know, salt the earth, so probably nothing will ever grow again.
Believe it or not, I am a CPU, a console patron unit, a goddess of the Commodore consoles. At this house, this home, even messing y'all becomes an official Pokestop, or even better, a Pokemon gym. I'll definitely set up benches for everyone's comfort so they can enjoy the Pokestop and gym challenges and the raids and all that good stuff. Now, one more thing I will mention for this introductory video for this thing. The haters. I've been followed for years by internet trolls and cyberbullies, and definitely worse among them, the haters. They're gonna leave a whole bunch of negative comments and low ratings, so I just, in the final decision making, just ignore all hateful comments. People who make the Pokemon Go app and people at Google, because I do as well as I can with my art and books and everything. I'm just one individual with superpowers still in development, with only my loves nearby. Imagine chance not you. My blaze again. They will be fully visible soon after the dimension merge. This is Christine Weston Chandler Sonichu, the CPU Blue Heart of the mighty nations of Quickville and Kama. Yeah, everybody be safe and have a good, safe day. Thank you.
On April 22nd.
Well, again, it's probably for the best that actually, this episode is probably nowhere near as long as what it was last week, but at the same time, I really am clutching at straws to find things to say, because it's literally just Chris just trying to keep this all together with bits of string.
Second, Chris wrote a 16-tweet thread explaining the reasoning behind the Pokemon-type classification of her character, Blake Sonichu. The next day, her 2018 Fashion Square Mall trespassing charge was dismissed after she successfully completed a satisfactory number of therapeutic sessions. Later that day, she posted a video on Twitter asking for gas money.
Hey everybody, got a little situation here.
70.
Less than an eighth full of gas in our one tangible vehicle here, and in pocket money only, as well as a little bit of petty cash. Anyway, I need like $20 for gas, please. Please help me out. Really need it so we can use this van before our money. So we can use this van some more before our money comes in by next week. It's like next Wednesday or Thursday. Thank you.
Twitter user Nintendo notified her that they would donate if she wished them a happy birthday, promising to be more generous if Chris made a video. Shortly after, Chris made a video for Twitter wishing them a happy birthday.
Hello, Nintendo Merd. It's a happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, have an awesome one, yay!
The user then allegedly donated to Chris $20 via Patreon. She then wished Maker Nightv a happy birthday in a Twitter video.
And also, a very sweet happy birthday to my friend M.
You know what? Can I just state for the record? I know this is going to sound like a very contradictory thing and all that, but it does raise the question, why didn't Chris just make videos on YouTube like every single day? Because surely people would have just stuck around and listened to it if Chris was starting to sound even more on edge. I mean, was Chris's YouTube channel even monetized during this time? Because it's when you begin to pose questions like that, it's actually as bad as Chris's situation is and always was. There were ways in which Chris could have got out of this. But as I said before, I think it's sort of more comfortable for Chris to not view it like that, because it means viewing it like a job. And Chris is about as receptive to the idea of work as, well, Chris is also receptive to the idea of consent, if the article I posted out last week was anything to go by.
KR. So awesome. She is really awesome. You're awesome, Megan. So happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Have an awesome day. Much love to you.
Yeah, that's just
Chris
creepy.
afterwards addressed a troll who had sent her a box that was filled with glitter.
Hey everybody, Christine Chandler coming to you live from home, and we just received a lovely little gift box. But my psychic powers are deducing and very good, because I actually was able to sense foresight. Before opening or even cutting the tape that this box is open with, foresaw gummies, gummy candies, shape of penises. Nice. It's okay. I'll enjoy those. But also, I sensed the glitter bomb. Glitter bomb. Yeah. No. I opened it all slowly. And no mess. Look. No mess at all. All the mess is inside this one Ziploc bag that I put it all into. Yeah, you're not fooling me. You're not fooling me. You're not fooling any of us. Have a good day.
On April 25th, Chris updated her Sonichu headquarters business listing on Google with 2 new photos that featured her mother, Barbara. 2 days later, Christine took a number of photos in her backyard that featured Pokemon placed into the scene, as seen within her gameplay of Pokemon Go. On April 30th, she reacted to the revelation of actor Jim Carrey's look in the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog movie, who would be playing the villain Dr. Robotnik. Okay, I've just been offended by the new movie. Ugh, Robotnik. Not to be a hater, but this, simply put, no at Sonic movie. No. No, 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 no. Hell f***ing N. Oh. She then shared a realistic rendering of how Robotnik may look if he were designed to appear more like the character as seen in video games.
Now, I don't know about you, but that looks a little bit creepier than probably Robotnik. Robotnik doesn't strike me as creepy like the way this comes across. And then again, this is all, it's very funny in hindsight, considering the reception for Jim Carrey as Robotnik has been overwhelmingly positive. But then again, the whole story about Chris in the actual movie, for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, is actually interesting, because all that happens into it is that Chris judges it and judges it and judges it, and then Chris changes the attitude almost the second that Chris actually sees it. But you guys will see that later.
And animations. As the first official trailer for the film was released, the people on the internet at large widely ridiculed Sonic's appearance. On May 1st, Chris wrote on Twitter that the 2013 fan-made Sonic movie was superior to the studio-produced film, and begged for the film studio Paramount and Sonic creators Sega to fix the perceived errors of the movie. A couple of days later, it was announced that the movie's release would be pushed back in order to change Sonic's in-film appearance due to the overwhelming international negative reaction. Chris then thanked the film's director, Jeff Fowler, for listening to her and fans like her. On May 6th, Portfolio Recovery Associates filed a second lawsuit for unpaid debt against Christine, with the next court date set on June 19th. On the 10th, she notified her followers that she went to see the film Detective Pikachu, recommending others to go see it in theaters. The next day, she revealed that her mother had found an old drawing made by Chris's half-brother, Cole Smithy, when he was a child, and also shared a childhood photo of him, commenting that he had been a handsome boy before he became a closed-off, distant type of movie critic. Chris then wrote a 30-tweet thread concerning the backstory of the Sonichu villain, Reldnak Natsu Natsirk. On May 13th, she posted a rainbow-colored throw blanket for sale on eBay for $200. When asked about the high price, she wrote that it was her mother's idea. The blanket was quickly bought by Jacob Sockness. It had been suggested that the money for the purchase was used to prematurely pay for their property tax bill. On the 16th, Chris unveiled the description of a new pony character she allegedly discovered, a distant cousin of the My Little Pony character Applejack, A.J. Farton, whose specialty was farting with the aroma of apple juice. On May 19th, Chris announced that she felt the cosmos, fate, destiny, and all else in their progress around her. It was at around this time that private messages between an unknown Twitter user and the enablers Sarah and Steve, who had gifted to Chris a Nintendo Switch and donated at least $100, were leaked on the QE forums. They wrote that they believed Christine was a goddess, and that they understood that being in contact with her would bring them nothing but negativity, but they accepted that fact. They were at the time saving up money to move to Virginia, after which time they would be making videos and running a new website for Chris, revealing their true identity. They claimed to only want to help her and be her friends, encouraging and enabling her to do what she liked, since she could not get a conventional job. As debt further mounted, Christine found comfort in the people that followed her, for she could almost surely depend on someone to financially help her when needed. In her world, helping hands were always within reach. With such a life, there was no need to try, to improve, or to change.
they certainly weren't wrong, and there we are, ladies and gentlemen. That was part 70. I suppose another slight thing I forgot to like maybe mention at the beginning of this is the fact that, well, when now, as I said a couple of weeks ago, we're now getting into the this was sort of like when I started personally to actually get like involved in like learning about Chris and discovering, you know, what on earth was Chris doing all this time, because I was an avid follower of Gibby back in 2019 when pretty much when all of this went down, and when it's kind of hilarious actually looking back on this with the benefit of hindsight, because the more I think about it, and this may be a bit of a controversial statement to make, but I actually find it's episodes like this that I actually find Chris kind of funny in how pathetic Chris really is. I mean, when you think about it, we spent the last 2 weeks in nearly 4 hours talking about what Chris considers unfair adjustment and bullying from like followers on Twitter, and here we get absolutely no mention of it whatsoever. It's almost as if Chris accepted it and moved on and decided not to say anything that he shouldn't have said. Even do you get that impression, ladies and gentlemen? Because I just get the impression Chris just shut up when it became obvious that Chris was up shit creek with no paddle. But maybe that's just with the benefit of hindsight again. But oh well, at least again, those who are willing to give their time and money, I should say, to Chris, well, I wonder how they feel about the whole situation with the benefit of hindsight again. So that, as they say, is that. So I hope all of you guys enjoyed part 70, and I cannot wait to see all of you guys again in the next video. So take care, and bye-bye for now.